What's up? Tyler from Plugged On. I'm here with an album review. This time I'm going to talk about the new album Aeromantic from the Night Flight Orchestra. This came out February 28th, I think, so I'm a little behind. Kind of had some life stuff getting away, but this is a band that I really enjoy and that I definitely wanted to get around to talking about. And if you don't know these guys, they are a hard rock band from Sweden. They are fronted by Bjorn Strid of Soilwork. So obviously, when I found out about this band a couple years ago, specifically right before Sometimes the World Ain't Enough, which is their last album, I was like, wow, that's interesting. Completely fell in love with this band, and I don't know, they're fun, they're sexy, and they just kind of bring something new to the table. And for, I love Soilwork specifically, and to hear Bjorn in a different band doing a different style, I think is just awesome because I love his voice as well. But anyways, getting into this album, I do think this is another solid record from these guys, and there's just a collection of great songs, and not every song is a banger to me, and this album does not, at least to me. And it might be one of those things of like, Sometimes the World Ain't Enough is the album that kind of got me into Soilwork or into the Night Flight Orchestra, and then I kind of went backwards. So that album's always going to have a special place in my heart. But I don't think this album is as good as their previous one personally, but that does not discredit their work at all on this one, because I do think there's some great tracks on here, starting off with just the lead singles that they put out, Divinals and Transmissions. What great songs, especially Transmissions, I think kind of showcases a side of the Night Flight Orchestra that I absolutely love, which is when they just get downright sexy, but then just massive choruses in a hook that just hits you, and you go, yes, this is so good. You just want to sing along. You want to put the fucking windows down and crank it up. Transmissions is probably my favorite track on this album, and it's such an amazing, powerful track. And man, does Bjorn sound so good, especially during those verses are just great. And the Night Flight Orchestra brings in a lot of different styles to them, especially from like the 80s, and they have, a lot of keyboards and synth stuff going on, and man, they can really just produce something really great out of that. But then you have some other really fun tracks, such as The Boys Last Summer, I think is fantastic. The title track is awesome. Taurus is great. Sister Mercurial is awesome. And, another thing that this band does is just create great atmosphere and great guitar leads and all sorts of stuff. And, those tracks really showcase that a lot. And, I think this band is great at putting the whole package together and creating in a great verse with a great hook that goes right into a great chorus with a great hook that might have an awesome guitar lead, or maybe during the verse it's just kind of slowed down, it's just some synth keyboards going on and just some really sexy vocals, and it can really take you in different directions. But then you have something like Golden Swan Song, which feels straight out of an 80s jam, and I feel like Toto wrote this song, and it's so much fun to listen to. And whether they're playing something that's more fast and loose rock and roll sort of thing, or they're slowing it down a little bit more of a ballad, I feel like they're really great at putting the whole thing. I'd say just about every song on here is great. There's a few tracks that just don't do much for me, such as even the opening track, Servants of the Air, Curves, Karmaceta 7. They're just a couple tracks that I'm not saying they're bad tracks. It's just compared to the other ones, they didn't grab me as much. And then I also think from start to finish, this album is, to me, just a little too long. And I feel like a couple songs could have been shaved off, just because, as much as I like this band and I like this album, every single time I've listened to it so far, I'm like, man, I'm getting close to the end, right? Oh shit. There's 5 more songs left. And then I'm listening to the songs, I'm like, fuck yeah, these are good songs, though. So I think from, as an experience, if you're throwing this whole thing on from start to finish, sometimes it can it can just feel like it's kind of dragging on, maybe lose you a little bit by the end. But overall, I think it's a fun album, and I urge everybody to check this out because, it is something different, and it's something different from a lot of different members of different bands that are different styles, and I think it's really cool when these sort of things happen. So, and these guys have 5 albums, so they've kind of been cranking them out since 2012 is when their debut came out. So, that's it for me on Aeromantic from the Night Flight Orchestra. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Let me know what you think of it. Thanks for watching. See you later.